Spirit camera is sadly overlooked a lot, even by Fatal Frame fans, due to the fact that it's on the 3DS and doesn't even have Fatal Frame in the title. Which is a pity, as it's a neat little side entry to the games. It also comes with a very typical main antagonist in the Woman in Black. This week, we're going to take a look into who she is, her history, and what role she plays exactly in the game. As a very brief recap of the game, you, the player, find a cursed diary, and you must use your 3DS as a camera obscura to solve the puzzle and help a girl, Maya, trapped inside it. There are various puzzles and ghost fights, all of which take place using your real surroundings, and in the end, you unlock the secrets of what's really going on. I have a playthrough of the entire game up if you'd like to check it out. I'll leave a link in the comments. But needless to say, the rest of this video has massive spoilers for the entire game. So, throughout the game, you're helped by a young woman by the name of Maya, also known as the Woman in White. She's trapped inside the diary and has no idea how to get out. She guides you along the way and reveals bits and pieces of information as you work together to solve the curse of the purple diary. In the end, we discover that the Woman in Black was actually Maya all along. Well, kind of. When Maya was only a child, she was chosen by her village to become a sacrifice, in great Fatal Frame tradition, in an old ritual known as the Tokoyomi Ritual, or the Rite of Eternal Sight. The purpose of this ritual was to turn a shrine maiden into a vessel through which the gods could communicate. Darkness was spreading over the village and killing many, and so the villagers wanted to ask the gods why this was happening and how they could stop it. To do so, they'd have to carry out the Tokoyomi Ritual. Naturally, being a Fatal Frame ritual, things didn't go so well. In order to prepare her for the ritual, Maya was separated from the village and raised alone. She had no friends and wasn't allowed to see her family either. The only person she ever saw was a nameless old woman who looked after her. One of the old woman's notes states, "I believe the village cannot be saved unless we welcome the spirits through the rite of eternal sight. The shrine maiden turns 18 this very night. A child severed from hearth and home, forced to live in isolation with no worldly bonds. She is now ready to become an eternal vessel. This is the will of our gods." At some point, the old woman gave Maya a purple diary to keep her occupied, and Maya created essentially an imaginary life of family and friends in it. Only one day, another Maya happened to answer, and so the real Maya, perhaps warped from the loneliness and the knowledge of what was about to come, clung to this imaginary friend with all she had. Finally, a real person to talk to. In her mind, anyway. When Maya turned 15, or 18 in the English translation, the villagers decided that it was time to go through with the Tokoyomi Ritual. This was, of course, not a very nice ritual. It involved the old woman sewing Maya's eyes and mouth shut, and severing all worldly bonds so that the kami may enter a perfect vessel. Any link to this world whatsoever would cause the ritual to fail, and this even meant a link to the old woman herself. Unbeknownst to the old lady, Maya had formed a connection with the other Maya from her diary. This meant, in essence, that as a vessel, she was improperly sealed. Only a properly sealed vessel, in every way, could invite a good kami in. An improperly sealed one, meaning a vessel that still had some type of attachment to the earthly realm, would instead invite an evil spirit in, and thus fully unleash darkness upon the village. And so, when Maya's eyes and mouth were sewn shut and the ritual carried out, it failed spectacularly. Maya was attached to the other Maya, and an evil spirit was summoned instead, unleashing the darkness and destroying the village. This other Maya was born into existence through this darkness, becoming the Woman in Black, with all of Maya's memories, while the real Maya's spirit was also trapped inside the house that gets sucked into the diary, but now memoryless. They were two sides of the same coin, the same spirit, now separated thanks to the darkness, but still trapped together in the diary. The woman in black, aware that she's only half a spirit, in essence, spends her time luring people to the diary in an effort to find her other half, not knowing that Maya is actually in there with her and that she's deliberately hiding from her. She is terrifying, after all. The woman in black isn't very kind to these other people who clearly aren't Maya, and she sews their eyes and mouths shut, just like what was done to her. These people also become trapped inside the diary, and you must fight many of them while you try to unravel what's going on. In the end, Maya's memories start to reawaken, and she remembers what happened. She realizes she'll have to reunite with her other half to end this curse, but the woman in black shows up first and threatens to consume her, sucking Maya into the darkness and allowing her to take control. After a typical Fatal Frame style boss battle, Maya is able to unite with her other half on her own terms, and apologizes for abandoning her. In a somewhat happy ending, depending on how you want to look at it, Maya seals the house and the diary to the outside world, and locks herself and the woman in black in, keeping them together forever and the rest of the world out. It's also interesting to note that while both characters obviously share the same name, Maya, the kanji used for each of them differs. The original Maya, the one who lost her memories and helps you through the game, uses the characters for truth or reality and night. The woman in black, however, uses the characters for demon or devil and night. They're also literally polar opposites of each other. Although a little tinkering has been done to make the woman in black look better, she's basically just an inverted Maya in her white dress, right down to the patterns on it. They're also both voiced by the same very famous voice actress, Hisakawa Aya, who you may know from little-known shows such as Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, Fruits Basket, and pretty much every anime ever. So, if you manage to make it all the way to the end of the game without realizing that they're the same character, well, I'm honestly impressed. And that is the tale of the woman in black, or the other Maya, or just plain Maya. Spirit Camera is a great little side game to the Fatal Frame series, so if you haven't played it yet and you still have a 3DS around, I highly recommend it. But what did you guys think about this one? Are there any other lore videos that you'd like to see? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.